So, in this session, we'll start with appraising you about the basics of spatial information science, from where it has come, and how important it is for all of us who are using the spatial information. To begin with, I would say society is now so dependent on digital technology, computers, and computerized information that we scarcely notice that when an action or activity makes use of them. Over the past few decades, we have developed extremely complex systems for handling and processing data represented in the only form acceptable to computers. That is strings of zeros and ones, or we may call it as binary digits. This spatial information technology is the outcome of all these developments which has taken place in computer technology. Geography, as with for the other subjects, stipulates the use of information technology to gain access to additional information sources and to assist in handling, presenting, and analyzing spatial informations. Internet and computerization has opened a vast new potential in the way we perceive, we communicate, or even we analyze our surrounding spatial phenomena. The data representing the real world can be stored, processed, and presented in relatively simplified forms to suit specific needs, and this provide base for spatial information science. Computerization has opened a vast new potential in the way we communicate, analyze our surrounding, and make decisions accordingly. Data representing the real world can be stored and processed so that they can be presented later in simplified form to suit specific needs. Many of our decisions depend on the details of our immediate surroundings and require information about specific places on the Earth's surface. Such information are called as spatial information, to which we are trying to highlight as to how we can use them more effectively. Because spatial information helps us to distinguish one place from another and to make decisions for one place that are appropriate for that location. Spatial information allows us to apply general principles to the specific condition of each location. It allows us to track what is happening at any place and helps us to understand how one place differ from other. So with this background, I would be trying to highlight the basics conceptual framework of spatial information science. It's a simple fact that everything human beings do or take place over any specific location on the earth, it relates with space component. There is no denial to it. The digital information revolution of the late 20th century has allowed this spatial information to be more easily accessed, analyzed, and used than ever before. This led to the development of spatial information science as a discipline and emergence of geographic information science, the GIS, as a core of digital technology. We all are very much familiar with the geographic information science and its application potential. But now, with increased spatial importance for different discipline, this spatial information science is also evolving in a big way. Traditionally, the discipline of geography dealt with spatial description and analysis. Now in this multidisciplinary approach period, the students, researchers, professionals from different disciplines find their way into this emerging discipline of spatial information science, which is making it very popular. The rapid expansion and popularization of spatial information science means that now spatial science is not just for the specialists, but for everyone. However, these users have different requirements. Generally, maps are used to visualize spatial information. This simply means that data or any information that refer to any specific location. It also means that the attributes of any phenomena relate to any specific location on Earth. This way, spatial information helps their users to better understand locational relationship. So one can draw information on distances, directions, and area sizes can also be understood. Not only that, but also patterns of spatial extent, or even one could also draw relationships among different phenomena linked to that location, which can be further quantified also. So these are some of the basic spatial information and maps usage for anyone who deals with spatial information. So the spatial information has become popular and widespread, especially since 1980s when developments in digital technology became common. Not only common, but also its access started to become easy and reached to general masses. This way, spatial information handling gained momentum. Consequently, the environment in which spatial information were used has also changed considerably, especially for general masses. The spatial information can be visualized on screen, and this pictorial information provided the database from where basic analytical queries could be made through menus or legends that we see in any map. This was the time when many software packages that allowed for queries and analysis based on spatial information became popular and used by professionals known as geographical information systems, the GIS. So all these softwares, they have revolutionized with the advent of digital technology becoming popular to the general masses. And these GIS softwares have gained and penetrated access to all kinds of planning and also for other activities, especially research, and it also penetrated into academics. As their functionality matured and became common, they were used and adopted and understood by commoners. Its usefulness and importance spread to all disciplines who can relate their understanding with spatial information. One big transformation came with the integration of spatial information drawn from different kinds of sources, which also enlarged in digital mode. Its functionality offers the ability to manipulate, analyze, and visualize the combined data from any field of study. This was all easy. I mean, the analysis part, the visualization part, or even manipulation part, because spatial information was now available in digital format. So all these processes, they were very convenient and easily being performed using the digital technology. So there are two things which were going on simultaneously. One, the improvements in the softwares which were based on spatial information, and this improvement was greatly dependent on the digital technology. So these two, digital technology and improvements in the efficiency of softwares, they have both contributed in the improvements and popularization of spatial information science. The spatial information in digital format gave momentous push in its use and also in its acceptability. Traditional maps are no longer only the final products, which they earlier used to be. The analog map functions as a medium of storage and presentation of geospatial information. The introduction of digital spatial information and their corresponding attribute databases resulted in a split between these functions. To cartographers, it brought the increased alternative presentation options such as three-dimensional or animated maps, where spatial information analysis begins with maps which support drawing intermediate analysis results and presenting the final results. In other words, maps play a major role in the process of spatial information analysis. The rise of internet brought the next revolution in spatial information. Access to interactive spatial information is no longer limited to professionals now. Products such as Google Maps or Google Earth even allow people to add their own data to the offered spatial information and share it with others with a mouse of click. So this was another level of improvement in spatial information, access to spatial information and usage of spatial information. These IT related developments have resulted in convergence of different disciplines working with geoinformation or the spatial information. In this spatial information environment, visualization is applied in 4 different situations. Firstly, visualization can be used to explore, for instance, with unknown attribute information of any location. In several applications, like those dealing with remotely sensed data, there are large volume of spatial information of different time period is now available. So this visualization was one important step or advantage using the spatial information. Secondly, visualization can be used for analysis also. For instance, in order to manipulate known spatial information. In a planning environment, the nature of 2 separate spatial information sets can be related to draw some inferences, like rainwater accumulation within any low-lying area. Thirdly, spatial information is used to synthesize the inferences of the analysis, the spatial analysis, like overlay, which can combine several data sets regarding the same area to determine their possible geospatial relationships. The result of the overlay operation could, when necessary, be used to adapt the plans. And fourthly, visualization can be applied to present or communicate this new spatial information. So whatever we have acquired through our visual analysis, now in this part we can present it in a more effective manner. The results of geospatial analysis can be displayed in user-defined images in pictorial format. It can be a map also, which is easily understood by a wider audience. These pictorial representation offers easier access to the basic spatial information from which they are drawn and prepared. These 4 visualizations of spatial information, that is exploration, analysis, synthesis and presentation. Here the tools for presentation are in digital mode, and cartographic rules and guidelines, together we call it as cartographic grammar, based on the nature of the spatial information available to make the output for pictorial presentation effective and meaningful. However, as these rules are not part of the presentation, as it happens in geography, or more specifically Geographic Information System, GIS, for a layman, For a simple spatial information users, it allows users to produce their own image output even when they are unaware of cartographic grammar. In other words, there is no compulsion to follow set mapping rules of geography and GIS. And as long as the user understands one's own pictorial representation, this would be good enough for using the spatial information science. This is conceivable because the users knows their own way of handling spatial information. They also understand their own output drawn from interpretation in their own way about the phenomena or attributes used. Here the terms private visual thinking and public visual communication are necessary to understand. The private visual thinking refers to the situation where users explore and analyze their own data, and whereas public visual communication refers to the situation where users present their results in the form of spatial information for a wider audience. The first describes the exploration circumstances and the second presentation circumstances. Analysis can be found somewhere in the middle along a line between these two. This becomes more evident when it is realized that private versus public spatial information use, that is, spatial information tailored to an individual versus those designed for a wider audience, is just one of the excess of the so-called spatial information cube, which was first introduced by McKeown in 1994. Along the two other sides, the revelation of the unknown versus presentation of the known, and high versus low user interaction. To sum up the basics of spatial information, the spatial information is any data with a direct or indirect reference to a specific location or geographic area. This is traditionally also referred as geospatial data or geographic information.